San Francisco is the fourth most densely populated city in California. One of its most famous landmarks is the iconic Golden Gate Bridge. The city is also known for its rich history, cultural diversity, and liberal spirit. But San Francisco, like many big cities, has its social issues, like crime and homelessness. It is a city with stunning views, and it is surrounded by natural scenery like the remarkable redwood forests, reminding us of the creator behind it all, Sri Krishna, God, the speaker of Bhagavad Gita. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada states in the Bhagavad Gita that originally Krishna is the source of everything. He is the root. As the root of the tree maintains the whole tree, Krishna, being the original root of all things, maintains everything in this material manifestation. Srila Prabhupada asked some of his first disciples to open a Vaishnava center for Bhakti Yoga on the west coast of America, and he visited San Francisco for the first time in January 1967, at the height of the hippie era, when people were searching for alternative lifestyles and for answers to the big questions about life and death. It was only about 6 months earlier that Srila Prabhupada himself had incorporated the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in New York.
San Francisco in the late 60s was a place for seekers, searchers. People really wanted to know the truth. They wanted an alternative way of life. They weren't happy with the way their grown-ups were running the world. They came to San Francisco wanting to share and live in a better life. Everything was free and it was very communal. And then I met the Swami. And I was having such a good time in the 60s. Why would I go and be with a 71-year-old man and give up intoxicants, free love, gambling? Meat eating I already gave up. That wasn't difficult. He later told us, he was the Swami from India that we all were looking for. He was sweet, he was compassionate, he was kind, he was fun. But he spoon-fed us, and later he told us why we joined him when we were having such a nice life. And it's because I gave them something tangible, the Vedic system. And what he said later, he was combining the culture of the East with the dynamics of the West. And he did it.
Yes, distributing Srila Prabhupada's books on the street, I feel, is a very good way to approach people, because people are living lives that are really separated from God, and it's causing them great distress. And when they meet a devotee on the street, then they become interested often to know what it's all about. And by getting a book and getting in touch with this ancient wisdom, they immediately become connected to like a life-giving source of spiritual knowledge, which can really help people, give them the satisfaction and the hope that people are looking for. So I think distributing Prabhupada's books, even on the street, is very important, because then we can just stop people in their normal, day-to-day habits, and sometimes even they'll invite us into their home. We can start having programs in their homes. And this grassroots kind of approach to people, I think, is very effective.
Well, since 1973, or even before that, we were putting on the Lord Chaitanya Festival in Berkeley. And it was very big. And we used to always chant on next to the university on Bancroft and Telegraph Avenue. We didn't just chant, we gave out a free lunch right there, right outside the campus on the sidewalk. And that's what really made us pretty popular in the neighborhood. Because when you feed people, they remember that. And that's what we do. We feed people and we spread goodwill and good peace to people. And that's what Srila Prabhupada taught us. He taught us how to perform random acts of human kindness, and that's what we do. And that's why, worldwide we're really respected, because they know we've fed over 3 billion free plates of food already that we've given out internationally. So that really hits a big home run with the public.
The first time you attended the Rath Yatra festival, the Festival of Chariots, when was that?
1974 is when I first attended the Rath Yatra. So I came into San Francisco's Rath Yatra back in 1974 that happened. And I was very astonished what was going on. Some of the stuff was something new for me. I've never seen anything like it here in America. And again, I remember the food was so good because they provide lunch, everything with entertainment. The festival was just ecstatic. And at that moment, I kind of realized this is not anything ordinary, interesting, and something I've never seen before. But meanwhile, I'm pursuing my own interest in my own life and to what I thought was best for me. And I spent many years in different things. The American dream,
Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya
I was born 1948 in Guam, the Marianas Islands. Then I grew up in California, graduated from the University of California, first place in psychology. And eventually I came in contact with the Hare Krishna movement. And so in 1974 I actually became an initiated devotee in this whole process. And the whole festival here is very wonderful. It's so esoteric, it's thousands of years old. And there's a very, very, very deep transformation of heart that can be possible from this festival. It comes from Orissa, which is in the east coast of Bengal, and Jagannath means master of the universe, right? And he goes every year from the big temple where he's served with awe and reverence and these kind of things, and he goes, people take him to Vrindavan where he's served with simple love and affection. So the whole message is that we can go to church every Sunday, sit the same place, we can hear the same sermon, take it beyond that where you actually give yourself to God and that kind of process and so on. So it's a very, very wonderful festival, and we invite everybody to participate. It goes on all over the world now for the ISKCON movement, and wonderful literature like that.
Ended up coming back to California because I had inclinations, even dreams about devotees, and I remembered them, so I thought I better investigate this even more thoroughly because there's something there that's calling me, and it was definitely here in Berkeley when I started, and I'm still pursuing that, and now I understand a great deal of what I was pursuing was an experience I've had before that is not necessarily in this lifetime. It's not easy to define these things, but we have to follow our soul, and in doing so I ended up back here meeting some of the devotees. But they all understand the Vedic precepts that are offered here in the science of Bhakti Yoga. So I've become more and more interested in that and trying to understand it. It takes a little effort. Some people are faster than others. I'm more of a carpenter by trade. I'm not really an intellectual, erudite scholar, but I appreciate the philosophy and the reading I've been doing. It's just really, where can I apply it in my life? So it takes some investigation and good teachers, because this knowledge is handed down by teachers. It's not, you can read the book to a certain context, but certain understandings, if you don't have the full perspective, you won't understand or grasp what's being presented without someone, oh, this guy's a carpenter, he does not really understand this, but he might understand that. You want the balanced education for the individual. Sometimes that's forgotten in modern academia. You go to college, well, you do it this way, and that's the only way you can do it. And it's not always by the book. Life is a teacher itself. So I try to live with my life, and I've followed that this far, and it's amazing what's happened, because I really didn't make hard, fast decisions. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I kind of let God, and He didn't let me down. So it's been pretty good.
Do you hold programs in San Francisco regularly?
Oh yes, we have very regular programs all over San Francisco. As a matter of fact, I regularly come to Salesforce, which is one of the largest companies in San Francisco. We also have programs at Intel and Google and LinkedIn. And at these places we meet with employees who are interested in spiritual knowledge, and we teach the practice of mantra meditation and so forth. Also, we have around the Bay Area at various yoga societies and community centers that people invite us to come teach the science of self-realization.
How do you find a balance between living in society and being part of that and your spiritual life?
I find a balance between material life and spiritual life by keeping spiritual life in my material life. So when I'm at work, I'm praying to serve, and part of the philosophy is always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So you have God in the heart, and anytime I relate with anyone at my job, praying to the Paramatma, the piece of me that's also within them, that Krishna in the heart, and that has expedited material growth. You're bonding with people in the workplace that you wouldn't normally carry on a conversation with or find any commonality between, and that this philosophy exists, and that's the teaching, essentially brings people closer together. So you never forget, and you're constantly bringing the spiritual life into the material life in every way possible.
How have you been reaching out to the local people over the years?
Well, we moved into this temple in 75. We've always communicated with the local people in the neighborhood when we have any events like Krishna's Appearance Day, Janmashtami. We would always go to their houses, give them letters, and say, forgive us if there's a little more noise, a little more traffic. We're worshiping God. And the neighbors really like us because they know we kind of keep an eye on the neighborhood. We all watch out for each other like a good neighbor. If somebody's robbing somebody's house, the neighbor will call the police. And they like that about us. And even myself, the police know that I've caught a couple of people robbing my neighbor's house, and I testified against them. So they like that kind of stuff, So I think, when they see we're just regular people, we believe in Krishna, but we're good people, we're good citizens, and we respect our neighbors, and they respect us for that.
A true spiritualist will show respect to all living entities, including animals and plants. Srila Prabhupada spoke about the need for a devotee to appreciate God's creation. With so much exploitation of the planet and so much waste, it is now more important than ever to be conscious of the environment. The first ISKCON Center in Frederick Street in San Francisco was right next to Golden Gate Park, and Srila Prabhupada often walked there with his followers, teaching them how to spread the science of self-realization.
We didn't know it was a movement at first. The Swamiji was just teaching us everything, and suddenly he got sick and had to go back to India, Vrindavan, the place of 5,000 temples. He got better and came back, and he was sitting on the seat, and he said, "I may die at any moment, so please start temples like this in 108 places."